Markus, let's start with you. You know, Merkel hasn't had the most successful coalition talks so far, particularly with the Jamaica coalition. Is there going to be any political appetite? Is there going to be any real political momentum for this to succeed, given the SPD's previous lines on a future coalition?
I think to start from the basics, after elections there's obligation to build a government, and the leading party after the elections with 33% was CDU-CSU, and therefore there's a mandate to create a government. As the Social Democrats have decided even on the evening of the elections to go to opposition, there was only one chance to do it, the so-called Jamaica, that failed. And now we are waiting for the Social Democrats, but we need a government.
As David McAllister said 2 weeks ago to us, you know, Martin Schulz fled the scene after the election, didn't want anything to do with the coalition. Why do you think there's going to be a change now? Obviously, the president has approached him to say, this is your duty to form some kind of government. But really, in reality, is this going to go anywhere?
I think that's very easy to understand. If you are an elected MP, you don't want to start campaigning again. And that is what's going to happen now, to be discussed in the Social Democratic Party. And the party congress, professionals are overrepresented against the grassroots organizations, which are more for opposition. So I think the professionals will win.
Arne, let's go to you, because obviously the SPD are the ones who've come to the table now. Obviously there's been a change in position by your leader, Martin Schulz. You know, where do you see the likelihood of a successful coalition, a grand coalition, happening again, given it was so clear from Martin Schulz that he never wanted to entertain the idea just a few weeks ago?
Right. It has been obvious when we had the election results, and that's why I was actually very proud and positive that my party was straightforward. We have been voted out of office from the coalition because we have both lost tremendous background. And therefore, it was the right way to say we are going into the opposition, as there's another option on the table. As they have not succeeded, we are now in the very difficult situations, and there are actually really three options on the table. The one option is the colleague just referred to, is a grand coalition. Another option is that we have a new election. And another option is to have a minority situation, minority government, as we have in many other European countries. This is new to Germany, but it's working somewhere else. And so this is all on the table. We have the party congress coming up now. On the weekend.
Can I just pick up, can I just quote your head of the SPD youth ring, who said the CDU, CSU, SPD government has been characterised by cheap and often quite bad compromises, such as an urgently needed investment in education and infrastructure. What's going to change this time round? What are the SPD going to do if they do go into a coalition which is going to ensure that cheap and often quite bad compromises don't happen again?
Well, what we will have is we have a discussion, first of all, now in the party congress, and then whatever comes out after conversations on a grand coalition, again, we have a vote by the members. So it's a long time process, to be clear on that. But we are looking on content. So we want to strengthen the questions of a democratic, solidarity and social Europe. The questions of how to have health insurance on a higher and different level than we have now. So we are going to come with content to the table and see how the Conservatives are reacting on that.
How do you think it's going to go on your party conference? Do you think you're going to get the support from your members for these coalition talks?
Well, coalition talks are coalition talks, and we will come with content on the table. And the CDU and CSU have to hand in that one as well, in order to see what kind of contents we can agree on in order to have a coalition. And then afterwards, there will be a vote. So you cannot say now what the results might be, because you don't even know what contents are going to be put on the table. And so it's a process.
Well, let's talk about contents then. And the most obvious key issue is immigration. Markus, you know, there is a significant difference between the SPD and the CSU's position on immigration. How is that going to be reconciled at all?
Firstly, I think we had already some possibilities to negotiate with Social Democrats during the last coalition, and we found some good results after this massive immigration in autumn 2015. And secondly, even the Greens in the Jamaica negotiations agreed that we need a limitation of immigration, because we have to take care that those people who come to Germany can be fully integrated.
But then there were disagreements, such as the plan to extend a ban on the right to family reunions for some asylum seekers. That was a key issue. That was accepted reluctantly by Angela Merkel. Also to put a limit on the number of asylum seekers Germany will take per year. You know, these are issues which are going to provoke, particularly in the context of the AfD's success at the last election, some, you know, quite significant political
But that is more a question to our possible coalition partner, because AfD people want to have this limitation. So if Social Democrats want to have a growing AfD, they can continue with their policy, or whether they will fight with us to defend AfD attacks, then they should fight with us.
It's an interesting approach to use our right-wing party, the AfD now, which came from an anti-European party, now moving towards a right-wing extremist party. We have actually heard by your leader of the party that an issue which is very keen to us as Social Democrats to have family members of migrated people to be able to join in and also to come to Europe is a key cornerstone on our coalition talks.
And that's going to be a red line, is it?
That's going to be an important line. You know, I'm not giving colors on lines today, but there you see already an interesting situation. What we don't want, and that is in particular also the party of my colleague, was even stronger and away from Merkel, was giving numbers on migration situations. We are not giving numbers, and that is for sure a red line, where even Merkel didn't hand in. So we should not open up that again, because we succeeded quite far.
We have already agreed with the Social Democrats in the last government to make restrictions.
Last government was last government. Though.
Yeah, but they have agreed on that, and I don't know why things have now changed. They lost 1/3 of their electorate to the right-wing party, and they have to be aware of that.
And Merkel also lost a significant amount of support, so is needing to find a stable government, because currently it's just a caretaker government. So politically, surely the SPD has more leverage in terms of issues such as immigration.
Are you sure?
Well,
I don't think so, because honestly, what is the alternative? So my colleague speaks about a minority government. He should read our constitution, which says that the government has to have always a qualified majority in the first chamber in the Bundestag. Even on European level, a minority government is not able to act as it needs a mandate in the forehand of a council meeting from the parliament. So all those countries who are used to minority governments don't have these obligations, don't have these rights for the parliament. There's only a reacting right of the parliament, not an acting right. But that is constitutional law in Germany. You can't change this because the Social Democrats are not willing to go in government, and therefore read the constitution and then you will understand minority government does not fit with our constitution.
Well, I strongly disagree on that.
Yeah,
of course, that's what we have to find out in this process as well.
No, you can build a minority government under these circumstances. Good luck.
Our situations are as they are. And also, we have a new election as an option if we don't find agreement on the content.
Would you be happy with that, a new election?
Well, I'm not happy with either of these situations. We have to discuss, you know, we have to move the country forward. It's so important that we move together with Macron on the situations to build up an own European budget, to have a European finance minister, to have a European social development.
But
so we have to work on this content.
Sorry, that is not the main point on the agenda. You really want to open our national insurance systems and healthcare systems to Europeanize it? Sorry, that is not the mandate. Neither you have nor another party in Germany has it. You speak about a more social Europe as one of the most important issues for a new government. Sorry, that is not on the agenda. A finance minister is not on the agenda. We have to put on the agenda what are the real concerns in Germany. So therefore we have to take care for people who can't afford living in the large cities where we have the jobs but not the housing. We have to take care, of course, on some social imbalances. We have to take care that we come to a limitation of immigration.
This all sounds
that is a national obligation. It has nothing to do with Europe.
Well, Germany is a member state, a strong member state to support Macron on new changes. You might not like them, but we have to come to a more European, social European, more equal, where European people who
Good luck
work...
to your electorate to open our insurance systems to the European Union.
I'm not saying that the German insurance system...
What makes Europe more social? What makes Europe more social when you are not open the pocket? Sorry.
Let me give you one example.
That's very easy to translate.
Unfortunately, what we both all can agree on, I think, is that it's going to be a very interesting few weeks in German politics.
Absolutely.
Markus and Arne, thank you very much for coming on today.